has patience. Early on was looking to score. Since Pau Gasol is back, trusting his teammates more.
Meanwhile, Wade doesn't have the supporting cast, certainly, that Kobe Bryant has. How's he performing this season?
Well, I don't think he's had the Dwayne Wade type of year. I think other than Wade, Miami's played as well as possible. Beasley continues to need to grow in some areas, but Wade's got to be more efficient.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the two teams. First, for the road team, the Miami Heat. Two key guys, of course, Mario Chalmers and Michael Beasley, the two second-year players. Have seen some nice progress from them. Meanwhile, Quentin Richardson, the new man, and Jermaine O'Neal healthy and playing pretty well for Eric Spoelstra this season. And for the Lakers, Andrew Bynum has been superb. There's talk of his first All-Star berth. Phil Jackson said it's a possibility. Bynum says it's his goal. Ron Artest on the court has been a very easy fit-in. Certainly has created some controversy off the court this week. We'll have more on that later. Bottom line for the Lakers, they have won 7 in a row, including 6 straight here on their home floor. And here's Chalmers, one of the key young players for the Miami Heat. They're 10-8 overall and 4-3 on the road. They started very well, but they've been very uneven, especially even on this trip. Richardson out to Chalmers. Chalmers has been shooting a nice percentage. This is his first shot. Gasol the rebound. Some of the early matchups, Jermaine O'Neal on Bynum. And Bynum has been excellent so far this season. The top 10 in several different categories, misses that. Mark, what have you liked from Bynum that you've seen this year?
Well, you can tell he obviously worked extremely hard on the offensive end. Great patience when he catches the ball on the block and just has a complete repertoire of making plays, whether doubled or not.
Richardson, nice job staying with the play after Artest blocked a shot. Was able to get it down low for an easy dunk for O'Neal. O'Neal's seen his better days, Jeff, in terms of being an elite player, but he's played well for them this year.
Well, and it starts with being able to be on the court as Bynum catches it too deep against Beasley. Health is a major factor, as we know in this league. He's had many years now where he's been below average in his health with his legs and his knees. And really, they're not a very deep team, so they need him to be able to provide some offense along with Beasley and Wade.
Wade missed the shot. Beasley the rebound. Wade couldn't handle it. Wade is not shooting a high percentage, certainly for him. This year he's at just under 43%. Last year, when he had a spectacular season, he shot 49%.
One thing you don't realize is the great size of the Lakers. Michael Beasley is forced to defend Andrew Bynum, and the Lakers very wisely attacking that matchup.
Bynum draws the foul on Beasley. Well, you look at the Lakers defense, Jeff. Right now, they're #1 in the NBA in opponents' field goal percentage. Phil Jackson says 2 reasons: Ron Artest and the team's length.
And playing at home.
Correct.
Right, so all 3 of those things, their length is incredible. I just think that they've done a better job closing out to the three-point line. I thought that was always a weakness of theirs. So I think they're an improved defensive team from last year's regular season.
Ryan, you saw his numbers, good numbers, but even better numbers, the Lakers defensively.
Hey, right now, at today's date, they're so far superior to every other team, with Boston the nearest team that could give them a run for their money.
Gasol tips it out on the miss, but as you said, now they've played 17 games this season. Only 4 road games so far. In fact, 17 of their first 21 will be here at the Staples Center. Gasol against Beasley. Wade, good help from behind, and the Heat will come the other way. Kobe Bryant is guarding Wade and picks up his first foul.
With that last possession, Bryant realized that they had switched. Beasley went on Pau Gasol, so they posted up Gasol, looking to once again attack that matchup. Gasol just got to be more patient on the block.
O'Neal goes right at Bynum. Good ball movement. Wade slips out of his hands again. Quentin Richardson comes up short. Richardson has lost a lot of weight and had a big game the other night in the win against Portland. He's back. Fisher misses an easy 2, and O'Neal the rebound. Chalmers pushing. Wade having a hard time holding on to the ball. Nice feed inside. Chalmers to Beasley.
You're right, Mike. That's 3 times already early on in this ball game that the ball has slipped out of the hands of Dwayne Wade.
Beasley trying to front Bynum. And Gasol misfires. Lakers struggling shooting, just 1 of 5. Lakers offensive shooting numbers kind of middle of the road in terms of league numbers. Bad pass from Chalmers. Artest lobs it on. Nice pass. And Gasol's length able to finish.
To me, they have one of the best passing catching front lines in recent memory. Gasol's an outstanding passer. Lamar Odom when he comes off the bench, and Bynum. They can pass, they can catch. Really fun to watch.
And I would totally agree. I would probably give the edge to that Sacramento Kings front line of Chris Webber and Vlade Divac. 2 outstanding passes, but these guys not only pass the basketball, but they have great hands.
Gasol showing the great hands there. As Fisher found him, O'Neal backwards to the play, and the Lakers lead by 3. Now, did you mention Artest in that? Because Phil Jackson before the game was saying one of the reasons Artest has fit in so well with his new teammates is that he's such a good passer.
Well, you saw that on the little lob pass to Gasol.
Shot clock down to 3, and Chalmers able to hit. Or as we said, Wade hasn't been shooting the ball as well. Chalmers much improved with his shot. He's at 52% this year, his second year in the league.
And talking to Coach Eric Spoelstra, he says, hey, we want Chalmers to be aggressive on the offensive end. What it will allow is create openings in the second half of ball games instead of double teaming Dwayne Wade.
Fisher for Artest. Artest spots up for 3. Wade tips it away, but right to Bynum. And the length of the Lakers down low take advantage. And Bynum off to a good start. Gasol and Bynum with all the Laker points early. O'Neal, left-handed, bounces around and drops in.
You have a problem on that. Everyone knows in this league that Jermaine O'Neal is going to drive left. Not 90% of the time, 100% of the time. And so as a player, if you're Bynum, like, how can you give him the middle and his left hand?
Bynum, and a blocking foul. O'Neal will pick up his first. Eric Spoelstra, the young coach for the Miami Heat, knows this is going to be a tough task for his Heat tonight as we send it over to Doris.
Mike, Kobe Bryant says of teammate Pau Gasol, his versatility is unmatched. His influence on this team obviously unquestioned. They are unbeaten since he returned from that hamstring injury 6 games ago. And in fact, if you go back to 2008, the Lakers have yet to lose more than 2 games in a row. And despite all his success, the championship last season, the guy has a humility about him that's really admirable, Mike. Before the game, the most he would say about himself, yeah, I'm a pretty decent player.
He is so humble, but he has risen the last couple of years, and obviously winning a championship helps. But would you guys think that he has now put himself in amongst the elite in the NBA?
Well, if he's not the best power forward in the game today, he's second best to Nowitzki. I mean, to me, he's a center too. You put him anywhere you want. He's in the top 15 players in the NBA.
Well, I absolutely agree. The guy has no flaws in his game other than, the question of being soft. But has the package offensively, the length, great passer, and a big-time rebound.
And now, as you see, I think his brother is good, too. I don't know if you've been... His brother is a really fine player.
His brother lost a bunch of weight from a few years ago, and he's got high skill level as well for a 7-footer. Remember, his brother was traded for him in that deal. Your all-time favorite trade, Jeff. Bryant falling away. Good defense from Wade. And a goaltending call.
That's actually the right call. Jermaine O'Neal thought the ball was falling short, went for the rebound, and actually tipped it before it got to the rim.
Let's take a look. Well,
that was going to hit the rim.
Yeah, so they have to call it. The ball, the officials have to normally let it go if it has no chance of going in. While Wade being hounded early, gets inside, can't get it to go. Nice tip by Beasley.
But see, even when Wade just stays on the attack, it creates offensive rebounds. He created a 3 by Chalmers early. When he attacks, good things happen for Miami.
Well, the Heat lead by 1. Bryant to the rim. That was easy for Kobe Bryant. His second field goal.
But you see the difference. Dwayne Wade gets into the paint. He sees a tree of 7-footers. Kobe Bryant gets to the paint. Michael Beasley is standing there. It's a different attack when you got big guys in there.
O'Neal misses. Chalmers doing a good job. O'Neal got hit. And he'll go to the free throw line. And we'll go to commercial. The Miami Heat coming off a bad loss last night in Denver. Nuggets took it to them, especially in the second and third quarters, especially in that third. Trying to bounce back. Right now they trail by 1.
ESPN's presentation of NBA Friday, brought to you by Canon Rebel T1i, shooting in 1080p.
I'm Matt Weiner with this Taco Bell studio update, and the New Jersey Nets are on the board. Courtney Lee with a career-high 27 points tonight. You think they wanted this? Watch Devin Harris go after this loose ball late in the game into the folks. Fortunately, there were folks there to see as the Nets get their first win of the season.
Back in Los Angeles, Lakers lead the Heat 15-14. This is a very important week for us here at ESPN as we ask you to help us beat cancer. To donate to the V Foundation for Cancer Research, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V or log on to www.jimmyv.org. 100% of donations awarded to cancer research. You have been so wonderful over the years, and we ask you to continue your support during Jimmy V Week here on ESPN. Shannon Brown has checked in. Kobe Bryant picked up his second foul.
Yeah, is everybody happy that we have that 6-foul rule here in the NBA? So we can have Kobe Bryant sit as Dwayne Wade plays? Everybody happy with that? Okay.
Allow me to fasten my seatbelt as I present this question to you. What would you like the rule to be?
7. QB Brown and I had a very intelligent discussion last week about this. 7 fouls. QB Brown's suggestion is go to the old ABA rule where if you play the guy past 6 and he gets a foul, then there's an additional penalty of an extra free throw or the ball out. And
like a technical foul every time they get a foul after they've gotten 6.
But why should we not? I keep going back to this. In soccer, every time you leg whip somebody, you don't have to go sit on the bench.
Well, that's like the rule if you run out of players and a guy has to stay in with 6 fouls to get so many guys foul out one game. It's the same rule. That would be a pretty good addition.
I don't like either one.
Artest misfires. How come? Loose ball foul. It's going to stay here and go against Miami. Against Jermaine O'Neal.
And I could see UB Brown having an intelligent conversation.
Oh, you're saying it couldn't have been both ways?
No, I just can't envision it.
Let's ask UB if he thought it was an intelligent conversation. Jermaine O'Neal picks up his second, so he'll go to the bench. Jamal McGlure checks into the game. He needs some size against Bynum. Just over 4.5 remaining in the first. Bynum catches deep. Well, nice little jump hook. Won't go, though. Haslam the rebound. Udonis Haslam, a long-time Miami Heat staple, is coming off the bench now. Quentin Richardson in the starting lineup, as is Beasley. Chalmers launches and hits another one. That's a 3-pointer for Chalmers, and the Heat shooting well. 54% here in the opening period.
And I like the way on the previous possession that Haslam defended Pau Gasol. Fronted him, gave himself a chance to keep the ball out of the hands of the guy he was defending.
Shannon Brown, good aggressive move, lots of contact, they let it go. Chalmers, by the way, 3 3-pointers already. He's got 9. Roy Richardson just looks like a different player with all the weight he lost. Throws it up at the basket, won't go. McGlure, the rebound, and Jamal McGlure throws it down. McGlure has not played much at all this season. In fact, he's only played 14 minutes in a couple of games. So this is a different matchup than the Heat have seen. Nice pass inside. Fisher to Gasol.
That's good patience and recognition by the Lakers offense. If you're going to front, we'll move the basketball, seal, and then present a target, which Gasol and Fisher did.
And both bigs, when they get those lobs, they keep the ball up high. There's no wasted motion bringing it back down, or they can either be fouled and or get stripped.
Wade can't get it to go. Bynum the rebound. Wade is 0 for 4, yet the Heat still lead by 2. That's an unlikely scenario.
Well, they had a game last week where Wade was just awful as Gasol backs in against Hazard. And he was 6 for 21 against the Magic, and they won in Orlando.
Fisher steals it, ball knocks off the official Tony Brown, batted around, and everybody diving on each other. And they call a held ball and jump it up. So we'll take a break. Pau Gasol tying the game up and looking sharp in his 7th game since missing the first 11 with that hamstring injury.
Well, the dynamic duo of bigs. You talk about Bynum and then Gasol. Fundamentally sound, keeping the ball high. Outstanding job presenting the target. And then they play one-on-one basketball. Patience, get to your spot. Great hands, great finish by Pau.
Tied at 19. Ron Artest in his first year with the Lakers made some headlines this week with a story released in the Sporting News in which they had an in-depth interview. It included one interesting part that probably grabbed most of the attention when Artest said he used to drink Hennessy at halftime. This was when he was in Chicago with the Bulls. I kept it in my locker, just walked to the liquor store near the stadium and get it. We spoke with Artest before the game and asked him to elaborate a bit.
It was a long time ago. At that time, I was going through a lot in my life. I was really immature, young and really stupid. Any pressure I felt, I just throw it back and go to the game and just play. And then sometimes I got in trouble, you know, during those games. But it didn't happen a long time, maybe like once or twice. And alcohol never helped. It didn't help my stamina, you know. And now that I got older and I don't do that anymore, you know, I feel much better.
You know, the question, and there were a lot of things in that interview besides that as why he would get into that right now. And Ron says that he wants to give young people stories they can relate to, wants to help troubled youth that he's gone and had some speeches and talks with and letting them know that he went through some stuff and how they can relate to him and try and overcome some adversity as much he did. Mark, you've known him. You guys have known each other since when Ron was a kid growing up in New York City. And he seems really genuine about this idea to try and help kids.
I tell you what, some people will say, why open your mouth, why say it? For some folks, you can go ahead and rehab without saying anything. For other folks, your testimony is part of the cleansing process. Ron Artest right now, I do not look at him and say, when is he going to do something crazy? He seems at peace. He seems to want to be part of a winning situation. And this is the best Ron Artest that I've ever seen. I've known him for a long time.
Now, he did just recently go on Jimmy Kimmel with his boxer shorts on, which isn't exactly normal, but he does seem very relaxed and calm. He's admitted he's seeing a psychologist, a sports psychologist over the past year that's helped him talk through some of the things. And one interesting thing he told us was that...
Hold on. Can I speak?
Well, just wait. Let me get this one thing out.
All right.
He said that he's going to meet up with John Green in Detroit and talk to troubled youth in Detroit. Now, for those who forget who John Green is the gentleman at the Palace who threw the object at Ron Artest that ignited the whole brawl. Artest has recently contacted them. They've talked over and felt that what they did together, they can now help others by talking to young kids. So they're going to have a little get-together in Detroit to talk to troubled kids.
Okay.
Now you can go.
Ron Artest, I'm surprised we're not seeing him backpedal up the court, because that's all he did in that. His interview was, I drank a lot. Now it's one time, okay? And Mark Jackson just made excuses for him. I think he threw back with him back in the day.
What excuse did I make for him?
Oh, man.
That's unacceptable, that behavior. What I said is that he's a better person today than he was
He had to cleanse himself. He had to cleanse himself. Get out of here. Listen. This is a time where the NBA, they find players for everything. Everything. Tweeting, coming in the wrong clothes. A guy saying he drank at halftime of games and nothing happens to him? What message does that send to the youth of America?
Well, you cannot suspend or punish Ron Artest today for what he admitted doing years ago.
Why
no
not?
question. There's no question about it.
Why not? It's real. This is where hotter heads have to prevail. Like last year, LeBron James didn't fulfill his media obligation after Game 6 in Orlando. Initially, the NBA office said no punishment. After after they looked at it, they decide to come out and fine it. That's what has to happen here. You can't overlook drinking. How is that going to help the youth of America to know that, hey, you make a mistake, then unburden ourselves? Why doesn't everybody just unburden themselves and make everybody in the NBA look bad?
But watch this. Here's how it helps, because on national TV, Ron Artest simply looked in the camera and said, I did it. I made a mistake. It was stupid. I was foolish, and I'm better for it today. Don't ever do what I did. You can't pay for that PSA right there that Ron Artest just gave us.
Well, the next thing we'll know is he'll have an endorsement with Hennessy. Come on.
Don't blame it on Ron. Blame it on the alcohol then.
What's that, a song by, who's that song, saying that song? Blame it on the
Oh, no,
yeah.
stop, please.
What is that? Who's saying that? Come on now. Yeah, we're soft pedaling this far too much. You cannot be an NBA player and put the integrity of the game on the line like that and with no repercussions. At least somebody come out in the NBA office and say, hey, that's wrong.
Ron Artest did.
No, I want somebody who has the power. Listen, we're finding guys for tweeting.
A loose ball foul on Biden.
Can we at least say somebody, hey, drinking at halftime is wrong, says the NBA.
But he's already said, he just said of that bite, that I don't know if it was really halftime or before the game, so he's already changed that. Ron tends to kind of just talk and talk.
When you're about to get hammered with what you think is punishment or public sentiment, of course you're going to change your story.
I don't know if he cares too much about public sentiment or getting hammered.
That's part of the maturing process. You start to care more.
Right. No, I agree.
Hey, I love his convoluted candor.
Save the big words. Okay, save the big words.
What? That's not a big word. I do. I love his convoluted. It's candor. It's open. He says what he feels. But for no one in power in the NBA office to say, let's just make a rule. Drinking at halftime is illegal in the NBA.
Well, the league has issued a no comment on Artest and what he said. Artest has changed his story a couple of times this week. We'll talk more about it. Hey, where our NBA calendar will take us to Philadelphia on Monday night. Denver, Philly on NBA TV. ESPN next Wednesday. The Hawks hosting the Chicago Bulls, 7 Eastern time. And then TNT next Thursday. Celtics and Wizards in Washington. Orlando playing the Jazz in Utah. That's all next week. The Heat have missed 3 of 6 free throws. Make that 4 of 8. Shannon Brown back out. Bynum way off the mark that time. Oh, McGlure a little high with the elbows. Ron Artest upset. Alley-oop goes. Darrell Wright missed. It looked like a pretty good pass. Just mistimed it. Couldn't throw it down. Artest goes right at Richardson. Gets his own rebound. Here's the strength of Ron Artest. He was 0 for 4 before putting that put back in. Shot clock off as we wind down the first. Wade, nice feed. McGlure. Odom, that'll count if it goes. Oh, not a bad shot from three-quarters court. As the first period comes to an end. One with 8 lead changes. As the Lakers shoot just 36% from the field. First quarter complete at Staples Center. The Heat, solid showing in the opening period, up by 2.
Welcome back to Los Angeles with Heat coach Erik Spoelstra. Second night of a back-to-back against the best team in basketball, and without Dwayne making a shot, you have the lead. How?
Well, I think we got to some things that we did defensively, disrupted a little bit. Helped that Bryant was out with 2 fouls. We just need to stay the course.
The 2 guys most effective for them are Gasol and Bynum. Anything you'd like to do differently defensively?
Just make it a little bit tougher for them to catch it. Once they get a foot in the paint, it's tough to stop them at the rim.
Coach, thank you. Mike.
Well, Doris overall, though, excellent job defensively. Lakers 36% shooting. Meanwhile, the whole thing with Wade, 0 for 4 from the field, yet they're leading the game. Spoelstra was telling us before the game, Jeff, on how he needs the team to strike more of a balance in terms of not Wade just dominating, get the other players together, yet keeping Wade so aggressive.
Yeah, that's always tough when you have a star player that a team is so dependent on. As Brian misses a jumper, and this is a very difficult matchup for Michael Beasley. He's having to guard Shannon Brown to keep Darrell Wright on Bryant, but I think he's right. But I think the only other guy you have to make sure gets involved is Beasley. And I'm surprised Beasley against Shannon Brown is out there taking a 20-footer. Drop yourself into the post.
I totally agree. I don't think it's as much problem Beasley defending Shannon Brown. I think you have to recognize that on the other end and exploit that matchup.
Beasley has shown some growth. Just recently had a stretch of games, about 6 or 7 games, where he played extremely well. And not just scoring. Everybody knows he can score, but his rebounding and defense was solid as Darrell Wright knocks down his first field goal.
Much better that time. Inside, outside attack, puts him on the block, and then recognizes the skip pass to Wright.
Wright, who missed most of last year, only played 6 games, had knee surgery. A young player they hope can develop. He's still only 23 years old. He's guarding Kobe Bryant now. Bryant to Farmar, who lost it, and then Wright couldn't hold, or Chalmers couldn't hold on. So Lakers get a new 24. And remind you, Wednesday night on ESPN, Derrick Rose and the Bulls will take on Joe Johnson and the Atlanta Hawks from Atlanta. Hawks trying to become one of the elite teams in the East. That's NBA. Bulls Hawks Wednesday on ESPN. Hawks losing at home tonight to the New York Knicks. Every time you think the Hawks are ready to take that next step and be as good, they have a game like that. Although everybody seems to be having games like that this year.
Well, everybody does, but I think if you lose to the Knicks at home, you forfeit your right to be on national TV the next game. So I'm taking them off. Was that ESPN next week?
That's correct.
Okay, they're off.
Shannon Brown, nice move in. Knicks actually had a good week. They beat the Phoenix Suns, pounded the Suns, and then beat the Hawks in Atlanta. Heat up by 2. Just over a minute gone by here in the second. Now Beasley looking down low on Shannon Brown. Haslam. Udonis Haslam. An easy 2.
They just got to keep playing through Beasley, either in the post, the elbow area, make him double or half double. Easy offense.
Shannon Brown off the mark. Lakers continue to shoot the ball poorly, 36%.
And like Spoelstra saying, run the same thing. Get the ball to Beasley. Eliminate the offense. You have to be patient. A careless turnover by Chalmers.
That's his 3rd turnover. Farmar gets into the paint. Good aggressive move. Farmar starting to come alive. Last several games, he's been aggressive and attacking.
Well, he's played very well the last several games, and he starts on the defensive end, picking guys up, looking to make plays, and running offense.
If you want to nitpick on the Lakers' start, is that their bench has not been strong.
This is how you impact the ball game on the defensive end. All of a sudden, good things happen when you're in attack mode offensively off of turnovers.
And that's just a poor play at both ends by Chalmers. Not only did he make a poor angled entry pass that led to a steal and a layup, but the basically non-effort defensively as Farmar came down the court in transition.
Artest pokes it out of bounds.
And you see the adjustment Phil Jackson had to make. Shannon Brown had to exit the ball game. You get Ron Artest in to defend Michael Beasley.
Artest, in that one of those interviews that he's had this week, one of the things he did say is he felt he was one of the best defensive players ever to play. Is that way out of line, or is that a legitimate remark? The foul call on Farmar.
Well, Ron Artest at his best is a lockdown defender.
McLaurin, Gasol joying at each other, as is Kobe Bryant.
And I think you have to truly believe that on a given night, there's no question Ron Artest has proven he's able to take out the other team's best offensive weapon.
He had a few years stretch there where I don't know if I've seen a better defender in terms of perimeter guy and could do so much versatility defensively. Jeff, what do you think?
Well, the thing is, I think he struggles more against guys who come off screens and catch and attack him. But you're not going to post him or just sit there and isolate him and wind up and get quality shots. He's too tough, he's too strong, he's too competitive.
He was the NBA Defensive Player of the Year back in 2004, All-NBA defensive team a bunch of times.
And you know, St. John's University, we're known for lockdown defenders.
I still can't get over the fact that he was the Big East Defensive Player of the Year. We're talking about Mark Jackson when he was at St. John's.
Voted by the coaches. You got Hall of Fame coaches. What were they looking at? Oh, my. I wonder if Artest, he wasn't probably Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East. He was only there 2 years.
Game time now at 27.
I'm trying to think, why are you hating on me, man?
I'm not hating on you. I'm just like, You have to even admit, that's a bit astounding.
Ball knocked McGraw, lost it. Farmar comes up with it. Lakers look to push. Odom to Gasol. Nice movement. And Farmar really got the ball out there to get the break going.
And how many times in this league can you see a point guard give the ball to a power forward in transition, trusting he's going to make the right play? Farmar to Odom to Gasol.
And Eric Spoelstra doesn't like this 6-0 run by the Lakers, so calls the timeout here in the second.
You got to really trust your bigs, not only their hands, but their ability to make plays. Farmar gives it up to Lamar Odom. Touch pass to Pau Gasol. That's picture-perfect fast break basketball. Lakers up 2.
If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
Jimmy V Week on ESPN. One scary stat is that cancer is expected to kill over 500,000 Americans this year. But a very encouraging stat is there are more than 12 million cancer survivors in the country today. And many of those alive thanks to the cancer research and treatments that have gone on, much because of great programs like Jimmy V Foundation, which has funded so much of that research. So again, we ask you to be as generous as you can on Jimmy V Week.
Is it possible to watch that Jimmy V speech as Wright knocks down the jump shot without crying? I mean, I've watched it so many times and find myself tearing up no matter what.
Well, you do what he says there. You laugh, you cry, and you think while you watch that speech. And it's replayed every year on ESPN. And it's Kobe Bryant's jump shot way short. 1 point, Miami lead. Impressive here. And again, Dwayne Wade without a field goal. He's on the bench right now. Offensive foul. Excellent defense from Farmar. Has been a nice spark off the bench. Chalmers' first foul.
Well, Coach, you know, in coaching superstars, this is a great situation for Eric Spoelstra because you know at some point Dwayne Wade is going to put his stamp on this basketball game.
Well, yeah, except that, Mark, I think if Odom knocks in the three, he's had a lot, too many of these type of nights. Just last week against Orlando, fortunate to win that on a putback by Beasley off an air ball. But there needs to be more efficient play because really the other guys have had very good years for what they have.
Jermaine O'Neal, one of them, he misses that. In fact, they're winning Portland to start this trip. Nice pass. Oh, what a block from O'Neal. Great recovery as Gasol looked like he had an easy two. That just shows you the healthiness of Jermaine O'Neal. That's a play he could have made last couple of years as Haslam knocks it down. But they open up their road trip in Portland and beat the Blazers. Wade did not have a great game scoring-wise or shooting-wise as Farmar with a fancy move. Yet they beat the Blazers in a very tough place to play.
Well, you got to ask yourself, too, on that. Miami played very good. But Portland doesn't seem right now. I read their comments as O'Neal goes to the rim. Their comments are even seemingly self-centered versus what can I do to help us take the next step to become great.
I think you're being very kind saying seemingly self-centered. No, they're self-centered. The bottom line is put your best players out on the floor and leave it on the floor, giving yourself the best chance to win. Not, I can't play with him or I feel better with him. No, allow the coach to make the decisions and then go out on the floor because they're too talented to not be in the hunt year in and year out from this point forward.
It's amazing what expectations can do. I mean, they were the young and up-and-coming team. Now, all of a sudden, people expect them to take that next step and be able to challenge the elite in the West.
Batum hurt. Miller in.
Outlaw hurt.
Outlaw hurt. So they are playing different guys. And I was surprised, and I think Brandon Roy is as good as anybody at his position other than, Bryant. But when he said, when they won 4 in a row, starting Blake and Andre Miller and put him at small forward, and he didn't like it. I I thought there was something wrong with that statement, that you weren't just happy that you found a combination as Pau Gasol used his length again and again, that you weren't just happy that you had found a lineup that was working.
Yeah, very unusual for Roy. Gasol looking like he's about 8 feet tall down there, easily getting the rebounds. He also took a shot in the face. Artest all over Wade, and a whistle, and a 3-second violation. O'Neal was in the lane.
Well, another good play by Farmar to enter. Gasol misses one right at the rim, but quick second and third jump, keeping the ball up the entire time. This guy is really, really a fine player.
And he's a little shaken up on the play, but okay, as we've got a timeout approaching the midway point, second quarter here at the Staples Center.
While you're in the studio, here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now. Notre Dame's athletic director has decided the football team will not accept any bowl invitation. The Irish are eligible after a second straight 6-6 regular season. And Courtney Lee had a career-high 27 points. Brooke Lopez chipped in 31. And Kiki Vandeweghe got the Nets to their first win after a record 0-18 start.
Matt Hooray for the Nets. Meanwhile, Phil Jackson's team, they've won 7 in a row, the best record in the NBA, but he's not liking what he's seeing right now.
Come on. Operate your offense. Get going. Come on, play ball. Just keep playing ball out of here. Right? Your offense got to move the basketball. We're out of whack. Get ourselves in whack so we can play defense the right way.
Well, they've been in whack recently during this 7-game winning streak. Not only winning these games, but winning them by a large margin. During this streak, they've been beating teams by almost 17 a game.
And I think when you stay at home for a long period of time in the NBA, you can get stale. I don't think it's a great advantage, particularly early in the year.
Well, they still have, after this one, they've got 3 straight home games after this. Then they go on the road for 5. Gasol misses battle for the board. Miami comes away with it. A lot of it has to do with what's scheduled in certain buildings. They have non-NBA events at the Staples Center and other places, so they're going to go on an extended road trip soon. Now, how about Jeff, as O'Neal against Gasol makes his move, gets inside and draws the foul. How about for a young team?
Does anybody know he drives left?
I think they know. It's just not paying attention to details and not being disciplined enough to follow him.
Come on, the guy, how long has he been in the league, Mike? The guy drives left.
This is his 14th year.
And he did that in high school basketball in South Carolina, too. What were you going to ask me? I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That was very rude of me, but I just don't understand players.
You're talking about how you don't think it's great for a team that has so many home games. How about if you have a real young team? Is that a good thing to build confidence early, get some wins? Or do you feel the same way regardless of what your makeup of your team is?
Well, I think this. If you had a super young team and you're playing at home, it may be a little bit better for you. But when you go out on the road, that's the truth teller. I really think you don't learn about your team until you go out on a long road trip to know really where you're at.
I thought Mark was the truth teller.
Good point. I knew I heard it. Some great American said that.
Oh, here we go. Don't try to make up now.
Heat just 6 of 12 from the free throw line. Bryant trying to get himself going. Richardson on him. And Richardson reaching. They asked Richardson, because he was guarding Carmelo Anthony last night, who's the toughest cover in the NBA. He said, without question, it's Kobe Bryant. As Richardson picks up that personal foul, his first. Not the penalty yet, so it'll inbound.
I tell you, don't look behind you, but Carmelo Anthony's gaining.
What a spectacular season he's having. And Dwayne Wade called for a foul. In fact, one of the Laker losses was they took a real beating in Denver. Again, now Gasol missed the first 11 games. The Nuggets, with very few exceptions, have been ready to play every night. And that one home loss recently was to Minnesota.
You know, and George Karl really was disappointed in his club because he says, hey, I want a team that's going to show up night in and night out. We're not good enough to turn it on and off.
He had a great quote. He said last year he knew of 5 guys. He had what he called a play hard team. As Artest goes left into a step back, and he likes to drive left too. But he said this year he doesn't have a play hard team yet. And that's very interesting.
Wade gets inside, spinning out to Beasley. Beasley showing that nice touch. He's got 6 points. Heat back within 2. Denver was impressive last night in beating Miami.
I watched Dwayne Wade, a spectacular play like that. But I go back to Coach talking about Brandon Roy being as good as once again, Ron Artest goes to the left, finishes with his left hand. So you got 2 guys and no adjustments being made, Coach.
I just don't get it. I mean, really now. Artest, the same thing. He's going to drive left. He's going to finish left. And he gets the crowd into it. And that guy looks overjoyed. That's a good, strong. Hey, when Artest gets a shoulder by you, there's no recovery back in front. He's too big, too strong.
O'Neal picks up his 3rd foul. And the Lakers now have their largest lead.
Yeah, but my point I was about to make is when you watch Dwayne Wade's ability to make plays offensively, also outstanding defensively.
Blocking foul on Fisher. He didn't like the call.
You know, you made the statement, Coach, about Brandon Roy being as good as any other guy not named Kobe Bryant in his position. I really believe that Dwayne Wade is the 3rd best shooting guard to ever play this game.
To ever
play this game.
Okay, going back to my statement, I don't know what I was talking about. Brandon Roy is a great player. He's not up to Wade's caliber, okay? So let me reconcile that right away. And I'm going to think about your other statement.
But I got you thinking, though.
You got me thinking.
As long as you're not thinking I'm crazy for making that statement.
I'm going to say this. In that finals series against Dallas, I've never seen one man win a finals. It was the best 4-game stretch I have ever seen in the finals.
The average
in modern day.
He averaged 34.7 points per game in those finals. And again, that was the finals. They were ready to be down 3-0 till he took over game 3 and then dominated. Oh, nice pass, Bryant to Bynum. The Lakers by 6. Lakers defense has picked up here in the 2nd quarter. Wade goes right at Bynum. 2nd effort. Nope. Going to wave it off. Beasley should have let it go. Didn't need to touch it. That may have gone in. Offensive interference.
And I'm going to say this. You want a screening film, how to screen? Big cat Jamal McGlure is laying some wood. And that would have gone in. He has set some screens for Dwayne Wade on pick and rolls and on handoffs.
Artest too strong. Bryant the rebound. Artest will try again. And Wade the rebound. Lakers just 1 of 8 from 3-point range. Wade gets inside. McGlure and Fisher fighting. Look at Fisher battle. Take it away. Wade takes it away from Fisher. And it's still going to be Miami ball. Good hustle from both teams as we go to break. The Heat playing in their 2nd game back-to-back, 3rd game of this 4-game trip. Hanging tough with the Lakers. It's a 6-point game here in the 2nd. NBA Friday from the Staples Center. The celebs are out. Dustin Hoffman, the frequent visitor. This is Lamar Odom sitting courtside. And, of course, your favorite, Jeff.
Yeah, I like that, too. Good production. Just says Jack. I like it.
In his usual seat. Starting December 21st, your new home for all things LA sports is ESPNLosAngeles.com. Latest on the Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, Angels, and LA area college sports all in one place. ESPNLosAngeles.com coming December 21st. Somebody who's been all Los Angeles since arriving from Memphis is Pau Gasol, and off to a good start tonight.
Well, with respect to Tim Duncan, This is the second big fundamental. You look at the nice bounce pass, the cut, the catch, kept it up high. And then long pass, good footwork, good pivot to finish at the rim. And then we cut off the last one, but it was a fast break where...
Offensive foul on Haslam. Dwayne Wade arguing with Tony Brown about the call. He's saying he grabbed him. Pretty heated argument from Wade and Haslam. 9th turnover for Miami, only 1 for the Lakers. Crowd calling for a tee. You know, Doris spoke of this stat at the very top. Since Gasol has been here with the Lakers, they have yet to lose 3 in a row.
You give an assist to the Memphis Grizzlies for that?
Big assist. Fisher misses. Richardson the rebound.
You guys are always trying to get me started again on that trade.
That's the second time we started now. Haslam, good job answering his annoyance with that call. Coming right back, chance for a 3-point play.
All right, so I haven't been a huge supporter of Memphis, but let me say this. I like Marc Gasol as a player. I like them finding their way out of the misguided Iverson signing. That's what I like about Memphis.
All right. By the way, I don't know if you remember this. It was in a cab in Boston where I told you that Marc Gasol, I said he could be a 15 and 10 guy, and you ridiculed him.
I think you're making the story up. No. Yeah, I think you are, but I like Marc Gasol. He's tough. He's in shape. He can score. He rebounds. He guards his position.
And his brother very proud of him as the Lakers lead by 5. Bryant putting good pressure. Bryant still can be such a great defender. Good screen from Haslam. Wade gets inside and finishes. Tough play from everybody involved as Wade gets his first field goal of the half.
You know what I like, though? 2 guys going at it. This is what the NBA should be, where best players have to guard the other best player.
Bryant fighting. Haslam setting a good screen.
That is not true. Where does strategy come into play?
That should be a rule.
Artest won't go. Bryant the rebound. Gets it into Artest. Richardson almost steals it. Gives it right to Bynum. Bynum can't connect. Tip is good. Ron Artest on the follow.
Let me say this. You think when Jack was driving in, he said, well, I sure hope Quentin Richardson guards Kobe tonight.
Jack who? Richardson fakes the 3. Gasol does a good job contesting the shot, but that leaves McGlory wide open.
They've gotten great minutes from Jamal McGlory on both ends of the floor. Big body fighting on the block, making great screens, and then rebounding the ball.
Think about it. How many veterans would be ready to play here tonight after playing only 14 minutes coming into tonight?
Right, the rebound. McGlory not only those 5 points, but the 4 rebounds. Wade spinning. Inside. Oh, strong move from Dwayne Wade.
Third best all time. Amen, Mark Jackson. Clyde Drexler might have something to say about that. But
well, Wade have to go in 0 for 6. 2 slams to get himself a couple of field goals, and it's a 1-point game. Bynum deep that time.
That's great offense right there.
Coming up at halftime, the Toyota Halftime Show. Matt Weiner, Jamal Mashburn, Avery Johnson. The New Jersey Nets finally get a win. You have to feel good for them. Cavaliers and Celtics cruise. Wade gets inside. McGlory tips it in. Busy night in the NBA. It's all coming up on the Toyota Halftime, as the Lakers will hold it for the final shot of the half. Bryant against Wade. Bryant inside, falling down, banks it in at the buzzer. Got knocked to the ground. He wanted a call. He didn't get that, but he got the bucket. Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant going back and forth at each other in the final couple of minutes. They're going to review it. And clearly got it off, and clearly there was some contact. surrounded by Heat players. Meanwhile, Pau Gasol, 12 points to lead the Lakers. He's with Doris.
Mike, despite missing so much time with that hamstring, how have you so seamlessly gotten yourself back involved?
Well, I don't know. Just the excitement, I guess, of coming back and also working hard individually when I had a chance to, when I was getting ready for it.
There's a stretch where your defense allowed you to get a little bit of separation from this team. What did you like about what you did on that side?
Well, we were active. We were able to stop the ball, keep it in front of us. They made a couple of shots at the beginning of the game, but in the bottom line, we've got to stop them from getting to the lane. And that's what happened at the end of the second quarter, so we're going to have to prevent that.
Pau, thank you. Mike.
All right, Doris, Pau Silas, he's a pretty decent player. Showed that in the first half, although Miami hanging tough. After the break, we'll have that Toyota halftime show. Some interesting results on a very busy Friday night in the NBA, including the Nets getting that first victory of the season. Lakers lead by 3, but the Heat hanging tough. They shoot 47% from the field on the road against the team with the best opponent's field goal percentage number in the NBA. And they out-rebound the Lakers by 6. Halftime in Los Angeles, 51-48 Lakers.